2, 1, live.
All righty. Good morning, good morning, good morning. We are ready for our Sunday school lesson this morning. Today is June 26, 2022. Yes, it's the last Sunday of the month. And our topic this morning is God offers deliverance. All right. He's been, first it was God foretold destruction, then he foretold redemption. And then last Sunday, we talked about God, uh, people shall prosper. Today, we'll talk about deliverance. So let's have a word of prayer. Father, thank you for your goodness, your kindness, your mercy. Thank you for your bounty for me, your blessings. Thank you for blessing us to come together at this time to share in thy word. We would ask that you would allow our hearts and minds to become good ground, that we would receive the seed of thy word, and then bring forth good fruit unto good measure. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Our lesson text is in the 51st chapter of Isaiah and verses 1 through 8. So let's read through our text. We'll do a responsive reading. I'll start at 1. I'll read all the odd, you read the even, and then after 7, we'll read 8 together. Hearken to me, ye that follow after righteousness, ye that seek the Lord. Look unto the rock whence ye are hewn, and to the hole of the pit whence ye are digged.
Look unto Adam, your father, and unto Sarah that bears you. For I called him alone, and blessed him, and increased him.
For the Lord shall comfort Zion, he will comfort all her waste places, and he will make her wilderness like Eden, and her desert like the garden of the Lord. Joy and gladness shall be found therein, thanksgiving and the voice of melody.
Hearken unto me, my people, and give ear unto me,
O my nation, for the Lord shall proceed from me, and he will make my judgment to rest on light of mercy.
My righteousness is near, my salvation is gone forth, and mine arm shall judge the people. The isles shall wait upon me, and on my arm shall they trust.
Lift up my eyes to the heavens, and look unto the earth beneath. For the heavens shall vanish away like smoke, and the earth shall wax old and garment, and they shall dwell therein, shall they die. But my salvation shall be forever, and my righteousness shall not be abolished.
Hearken unto me, ye that know righteousness, the people in whose heart is my law. Fear ye not the reproach of men, neither be ye afraid of their revilings. Together, for the moth shall eat him like a garment, and the worm shall eat him like wool. But my righteousness shall be forever, and my salvation from generation to generation. Our introduction tells of the warning that we were given as children when they first taught us how to cross the street. And he told us what? Look both ways. As you go in life, you need to learn how to look both ways. You know, a lot of times when we make decisions, especially life decisions, we only look one way. Right. We love to consider all of the positives, the good things about this.
Yeah.
You know, she cute. She got nice long hair. He has curly hair. Fair skin. Oh, he got muscles. You know, we start, and he tall.
Fine.
And yeah, he look good. She fine. She got a nice shape. Coke bottle. We come up with all of the, you know, the positive aspects, but do we look the other direction?
But you can't see.
Kind of attitude does he have? How does he treat his mother and his sisters?
Right.
What kind of attitude does she have? Is she so cute? Does she think she's too cute to cooperate? You know, that she's entitled to everything and she don't have to do nothing but be cute. And, you know, and because he got muscles and all he got to do is flex his muscles and she gonna give in whatever. See, we don't look both ways. We look at what is appealing outwardly. The Bible warns us, the man looketh on the outward appearance, but God looketh upon the heart. God searches the heart. Now, so it's good advice to look both ways. And part of that is because we can easily become distracted by what is attractive.
Right. Yes.
I remember a message I preached some years ago, and it was entitled Attractions and Distractions.
Mm-hmm.
You see, you can be so attracted to something that your attractions become a distraction from your goal.
Right.
Attractions and distractions that will frustrate your purpose. That was the subject. Because we can be so attracted to something that it distracts us from what we really, you know, was intended to do. You know, sometimes we don't hold attention long enough. I get on my grandson all the time about that. Easily distracted. Big man, you send him to do something, and on the way there, something distracts him. And 5 minutes later, you call him, hey, what? You done got distracted. You forgot what you went to do? See, we can easily allow things to distract us. And it's those things that we are attracted to that become our distraction. Yes.
Just like, for example, I come to my bedroom, and I know I got to clean that kitchen for something. But by the time I get there, I forgot what I was going for. But when I get back to the bedroom and sit down, and I think about what I did.
Yeah, because see, your thoughts can even distract you.
Yes.
Because you on your way to do something, but on the way you start thinking about something else.
Right.
And then you get there, you go, what I come in here for?
All the time.
And then we turn around and get all the way back to where we come from. Oh man, I was supposed to. Because why? It's easy to lose focus when you're distracted. And listen, this is why Satan is so clever in deceiving, because what he does, he distracts you with an attraction.
Something he know you like.
Something he know you want. Let's look at an example of that. See, when we look at the Bible, pay attention to certain things, how they happen. Now let's look at what happened in Genesis. Now, the serpent was very subtle. And look what he says. The serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field. Subtle. In other words, he's sneaky, he's quiet. See, he don't come at you to startle you or to cause you to think. He's real slick with it. You know, that silver tongue guy
Yeah.
that talked you and what you didn't know you was being talked into. Yeah, he was subtle. He didn't just come out and tell you what he was after. See, men don't do that. They don't come and just tell you what they after. Now you learn later on what's up, but in the beginning you ain't got no clue because they subtle with it. They don't just come and tell you. Look what he says. And to the woman he says, "Yea, hath God said, you should not eat of every tree of the garden?" Now he's being subtle because what he wants is for her to lead into it so that it's as if it's her idea. She said, "Oh, no. He said, we can eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden." This was the woman's response. "But of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God has said, ye shall not eat of it, neither shall you touch it, lest ye die." She knew better. But listen what the serpent says. You're not going to die. So now he's desensitizing her from the terror that's keeping her from violating the rule, eating of that tree. Oh, you ain't going to die. And he says, "For God does know," now here comes the attraction, "that in the day you eat thereof, then your eyes shall be open." We don't want their eyes open. Were her eyes closed? So he told her, but were they?
No.
God had shared everything with Adam. His eyes weren't closed to anything. It wasn't closed to creation. Wasn't closed to anything. It wasn't closed to God. He had a relationship with it. Your eyes shall be open, and ye shall be as gods. But wait a minute, I'm already in his image and likeness. He's already shared with me a certain knowledge. As a matter of fact, here's how much knowledge he had shared with Adam. How did Adam come to the conclusion, for this cause ought a man leave his mother and father and cleave to his wife, and the two shall be one flesh? How did he even have that understanding? Did he have a mother and father?
I can say yeah, you know, I might be wrong, but say no, I don't know. So
Honestly, I don't know.
Did Adam have a mother or father? Okay, let's go. Okay. Let's read, see what the text is. And on the sixth day, okay, God said, "Let us make man in our image and likeness. Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the fowl of the air, over the cattle, over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth." So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him, male and female created he them. And God blessed them, and God said unto them, "Be fruitful, multiply, replenish the earth, and subdue it. And have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the fowl of the air, over every living thing that moveth upon the earth." Now, what happened when God saw Adam? God saw him after he had named all of the animals, all the creatures. Adam gave names to them all. But for Adam, there was not found an helpmeet for him. Now, did he have a mama or a daddy?
Yeah.
Did he?
I think God was his mother and father.
I just stick what I say. I don't.
Who was the first human created?
Adam.
Okay. So who was his mom and dad? What was his mom?
You don't know what created Adam.
So what was his mom and daddy name? Okay. Did Cain and Abel have a mother and father?
Yeah.
And what was their mother and father's name? Seth was his brother. Who was the mother of Cain and Abel? Cain and Abel.
Eve.
Adam and Eve. Who was Eve's mother and father?
Adam. Came from Adam. Rib. So.
And he caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam And he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh thereof, and the rib which the Lord God had taken from man made he woman, who was Eve's mother and father.
Adam.
Okay, he took a rib.
No.
He took a rib from Adam and created Eve.
Okay, let's put it this way.
Okay,
You were born.
I need to walk them into this. Don't help them out. I want to walk them into it. Listen to the text. The scripture says, God formed man out of the dust of the earth. Did you come from the dust of the earth?
No.
Where'd you come from? Oh, so if you, okay, so only way you can have a mother and father, you gotta what? Come out of womb.
Yeah.
Did Adam come out of womb?
No.
Did Eve come out of womb?
No.
All right. So did Adam have a mother and father? No. So how did, yeah, but you was kind of waving, you wasn't sure. So how did Adam then understand the concept that a man should leave his mother and father and cleave to his wife?
Well, God must explain it to him by giving him a wife. And by him giving him a wife, he should come as one. So I'm confused and I'm confused.
Because God opened his eyes. You saying it. God had opened his eyes with the knowledge. Because why? He and Eve were going to bear children, and they were going to have to teach the children the concept of when you get a wife. Okay. And he said, Adam said, this is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh.
Yeah.
And they were both naked, the man and his wife, and were not ashamed.
Yeah.
So why is it, what did, see, so Satan subtly caused an attraction to distract Eve from keeping the law or the commandment of God not to eat. He says, he knows that when you eat, your eyes shall be open, and ye shall be as gods knowing good and evil. First thing she didn't recognize was her eyes were already open. Matter of fact, let me tell you how open her eyes was. Over in indigenous countries, especially in places like Africa and in some of the places where Aborigines are in Australia, women walk around, they don't wear bras, they don't wear tops, and they go around with a whole lot of flesh on. But there, watch this, rape isn't even heard of in those countries. But over here, where we say we're civilized, a woman can be fully clothed, and a man go crazy and try to rape her. So you see, what am I saying? It says that they were both naked, the man and his wife, and were not ashamed. We're the only creature on this planet that got to put clothes on. We're the only one. Do lions put on clothes?
No.
Cheetahs?
No.
Monkeys?
No.
Orangutan? Baboons? Ducks? Ducks?
No.
Donkeys? Snakes? Don't let them put on clothes but us.
That's right.
And they'll walk around, ain't nobody trying to, they have a mating season. When the sea lions come in for their mating every year, they have a mating season. And they got a certain way they do it. But don't nobody go around trying to take nothing. They just go and do what's natural. And when they don't have to go in and take no clothes off. They ain't got to go have a house built with a bedroom. See, y'all, We the only creature that can't do right being natural.
That's it.
Something wrong with us.
That is it.
Something seriously wrong. He said the man and the woman were both naked and they were not ashamed. You got folks who are married who's scared to get undressed in front of their spouse and they married.
Right.
Why are you ashamed? You go, oh no, I don't want you to see me like this. Turn the light off. Turn the light off.
You can turn the light out when you want to.
I don't think so. When you said turn the light out, I know what you're talking about.
Well, see, we're the only creature that can't. We're the only creature that got to put clothes on, got to cover up.
Yeah.
Because why? We let Satan trick us into thinking that we didn't know enough and that our eyes needed to be open. Now, they were both naked and were not ashamed. And what did they do the moment they ate of the tree?
They hid themselves.
They hid themselves and what? Because what?
They was ashamed of the body, of being naked.
Because they finally realized, oh, but wait, why wasn't there nothing wrong with it before?
Curiosity kills the cat.
They just did like that.
Because here's the problem.
They didn't know.
They missed the last 4 words Satan said. Knowing good and evil. There's some things you don't need to know.
That curiosity kills the cat.
There's some things you don't need to know. Sometimes we so nosy
That's right.
and gotta know. So, see, knowing was the part that messed them up.
Yep.
Good and evil. How do you know the opposite of something if you don't experience its opposite? Now, they already had righteousness. I didn't need good and evil knowledge because I had the knowledge of righteousness. Matter of fact, they never would have needed clothes. Well, we don't know what kind of food it was. The Bible won't say.
Some say figs.
Yeah, it could have been anything because I eat figs and apples now. I don't get no smarter. And I love figs and apples. But fish, I don't get no smarter. I get dumb ones. But you see how that subtlety, you see, she didn't look both ways. She only considered, see, what attracted her was, ye shall be as God.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing good and evil. Now she's been distracted by what has attracted her. And the distraction now causes a big, this is why God had to have a plan of redemption. In the Bible study this week, we talked about that. How God already knew that man was going to fall, so God already put in place a plan of redemption for man. He had already had it set up. Jesus had to come. But he continually gave them examples of what that was going to look like, because every time Israel went into sin and failed and had to go into captivity, then God had to deliver them. It was always an individual who became the deliverer, who was a type of Christ. When the whole world was wiped out but 8 people, Noah became a type of Christ. The world was saved through Noah and his 3 sons and their 3 wives and his wife, and they had to come back and repopulate the earth. Mm-hmm. Then man fell, then Israel came about, and Israel kept falling because they kept what? Trying to know more than what they needed to know, and kept being distracted by what was the attractions of The Canaanites. Oh, they got this, they have that. They can do this, they can do that.
They're still doing that.
And they're still doing that. And it's still, right now, you got so much going on. There's stuff going on we're not even aware of.
Right.
And the world has become so degraded and overwhelmed. You would be surprised about all of the so-called secret gatherings that are going and what people do in anticipation of their sororities, fraternities, lodges, secret societies, all the stuff that's going on that people are doing. There's an underworld of evil and wickedness taking place. Most of us haven't even heard of
Every
it.
day.
And it's prevalent. And then you'll be surprised at who's participating. You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised at who's participating in all this stuff. You will be. There's a group right now that you'd be surprised how many preachers are part of it. I was shocked when I found out. And I'm going to tell you how I found out. It was by accident. Yeah, I was shocked. But you'd be surprised how many participate in this. And I had an uncle who was trying to recruit me. And I kept telling him, no, I don't feel right about this. So I started studying it. Well, nephew, well, you know that Bible, you could go far and you could get you a nice big church. They'd be glad to have you. Yeah, but what I got to do for that? What do I have to sell out? Do I have to compromise, what I know is the truth and what I'm preaching in order to be a part of this gathering in this group? Something wasn't right. I ain't gonna call it out, but one thing I found out, they had more sexual orgies and parties and drunken revelings than people I'd ever heard of. I mean, when you find out the truth about something, and there's preachers and pastors, and so, but here's what it did. After that, every time I saw a pastor wearing one of their ornaments or participating in one of their rituals, and they do, they have a certain participation at folks' funerals if they're part of them. They do a lot of what they call social good too, because they raise money for hospitals, for certain research, medical research, and they support a lot of social nonprofit organizations, and these folks give them big money. But the cost and what they do in conjunction with all of that, it will blow your mind. I'm trying to be subtle. I'm trying to be subtle. But look at it. He says, look both, the introduction says, look both ways. Listen, distractions are always in front of you. How many, where my grandson at? Oh, he was waiting. I told him, I said, boy, you are a slave and a prisoner to that phone. You got that phone in your hand 24 hours a day. You own it all the time. I said, you're not going to be able to keep a job and work or drive a car. You have a problem now in school because of your phone.
My granddaughter used to get a job with that phone. They got to get around, they always fire because she always on that phone.
She on the phone. Yeah, they fire, right?
Yes, they did.
Because why? She on that phone.
She on the phone.
It's a distraction.
They're not paying you to be on the phone.
Right. They're not paying you to be on the phone. Distractions take place. People walking, people driving, people riding, people in a meeting, people riding bicycles. They can't pay attention because what? They distracted. Yes.
I was at the rent yesterday, and the security guard up there, standing up, leaning against the wall on the phone. He never looked up and just around and spoke to him. He still didn't look up.
See?
He's on the phone. What purpose is he serving?
Exactly. He's supposed to be what? Watching, observing. He ain't observing nothing. He on the phone.
Yeah.
These distractions take place 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It is something now, especially with the advent of these cell phones, you see people walking.
Not even, yeah, in the street.
It's a commercial.
Just walking.
It's a commercial going on now.
Yeah. And they just walking. Get to the intersection,
People just stop, the car stopped.
the car, yeah.
He looked up and said, oh, can you?
Yeah. How many people on their phone and don't notice somebody done walked out in front of them? Because they're what? Distracted.
Even the ones that's driving is on the phone.
That's
They
what I'm
don't-
talking about.
yeah.
The drivers are even distracted. Driving down, texting, while they driving, and then look up, boom, in the back of somebody.
Both of them on the phone.
On the phone. I see them all the time. I'm riding down the freeway, and they on the phone, texting. One lady's on the phone she's doing her makeup
Yeah.
while she's driving to work in commute traffic.
Right. I've seen that a lot. That's her eyes. That's terrible.
You couldn't get up early enough to do your makeup before you hit the road. And I tell them, like my phone will be ringing. They say, your phone ringing. I say, that's why I have an answering service. It's called voicemail.
I don't run to it either.
I mean, if they don't leave a message, it wasn't that important.
That's what I say.
And you don't have to, every time it rings, you can't pick it up and answer. On the phone ring. Oh, I gotta get up. I was under the house putting in some gas lines, and the phone going over. The guy, your phone ringing, and what am I gonna do down here? I'm under a house putting in pipes.
Don't stop running.
I'm gonna crawl down it. I gotta crawl because I only have a crawl space. And then where I was working, there's a foundation wall, and it has studs, and they're 16-inch centers, not 24. I got to squeeze in between to get over the stem wall in order to get to the area where I'm working. Well, I look like crawling all out of there to come answer a phone. Took me 5 minutes to get under there. I ain't coming out from under here till I get it through. Whoever called it, guess what? Go to voicemail. It ain't that important. Yeah. And even, I remember one time, I was up on a roof, and somebody called. I said, well, let me just tell them. I said, I'm on the roof. I just call you back. Well, I just want to over there. Did I just say goodbye, Clay?
Don't they?
I just said I'm busy. I'm on the roof. What do I look? Do I look like I want to do something stupid while talking on the phone and fall off the roof?
That's why I don't answer. They don't respect.
So now I know he take it up there on the roof with me. Phone down on the ground. I'm on the roof. But all I'm gonna do is do like the dog if I answer. Roof. Too many distractions. People are so focused on phone calls, they'll run through traffic lights, run through stop signs. People will walk out in the street on the phone, not even seeing that there's traffic coming. Because we're so distracted. Now, that means, guess what? We are in dire need of God giving some deliverance. Because we need some deliverance.
There's a lot of stuff that's being created out there to distract people, and sometimes I be thinking, A lot of this stuff is being made to eliminate a lot of people around, because that's what's happening.
Yeah. So I can do this whole lesson just on this introduction.
Yeah.
It's somehow we distracted. We are so distracted by everything. So distracted now that people don't look both ways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Not only though do they need to look both ways, they need to start paying attention to what they're looking at.
Right.
Because some, you know, I see people just kind of, you know, they'll walk their phone, they get there and they go, and then right back to the phone. They didn't even take time to see what it was to see. They just, now I know you ain't saw, you didn't see all you needed to see that quick. You're distracted by that one thing in your hand, and you're not being aware of your surroundings. Yes, and it could get you in a very precarious or serious situation, could even take your life.
Right.
So you not only need to look up, you need to look both ways and be aware of what is there. So in the lesson, he says, look to the past. Hearken to me that ye follow after righteousness, ye that seek the Lord. Look unto the rock whence you are hewn. Look at where you come from. And to the hole of the pit which you are dead. This pit you done dug yourself into. How is it that we always just want God to dig us, get us out of the hole we dug? You dug that hole.
Yeah.
You know?
You made that dead, ain't it?
Yeah. No, it's your fault. It's your fault. I remember one person was on. It's your fault. You didn't make me listen. You didn't make me do the right. Wait, hold on.
I heard that too.
Hold on. What do you mean I didn't make you?
You should have, yeah.
I done told you, I done warned you. He says, look unto the rock which you are hewn, and to the hole of the pit which you are dead. Look unto Abraham your father, and unto Sarah that bare you, for I called him alone, and blessed him, and increased him. Look at where you come from. Check out your mistakes of your past. Why are you in the current condition? And what do you do now so you don't remain in this? How do you get out of this hole? See, we don't, when we read scriptures, we don't, I don't think all the time we read them to really get the essence of what they're saying.
Right.
I think we read them just to be entertained, Bishop.
Yeah, that's it.
And so that we can tell folk, have you read so-and-so, it said, and we write out the verse like, you know, we really know the verse. Okay, we can quote it, but can we apply it? Can we exemplify it?
Right.
Can we live it? He said, pay attention. Look to remember where you come from. Because why? Where you come from is how you got where you are.
Right.
Remember, first of all, remember the stock you come from. But look at the hole you done dug yourself. Your family didn't really do this to you. Some of the stuff, we blame other people. So think about this. What circumstances have distracted you or discouraged you from really living right? And how do you keep from digging a deeper hole? Learn the lesson of people in quicksand. The lesson of quicksand is if you're in quicksand, don't struggle. Because the more you struggle, the deeper you get. See, in quicksand is be still. Assess the situation.
Ain't you still gonna die?
No, not necessarily. Because if you be still, you stop sinking. And you can figure out how to get out, how to move so you don't, or wait till somebody comes along that can help you out. But the more you struggle and fight, trying to figure out how to do something you don't know how to do, the deeper you go in. So that's the thing we gotta learn. Learn from your past mistakes. He says, pay attention and look what you have dug yourself into. How do I get out of this hole? There's a way to get out. Fighting it ain't the way. That's what got me there. All of this. First of all, I fell in the quicksand because I wasn't paying attention to my surroundings. I was just distracted, walking.
Walk right into it.
And walk right into it. And when you first feel it going down, you're supposed to stop in, because guess what? You right at the solid ground. If you stay there and fall into the solid ground, you got a better chance of getting out on your own. But what do? They keep going, trying to think, well, let me just step out of it, and you get deeper and deeper and deeper. I'm going to finish with this verse, because it's after that.
I hate to go in there.
For the Lord shall comfort Zion. He will comfort all her waste places. He will make her wilderness like Eden, and her desert like the garden of the Lord. Joy and gladness shall be found therein, thanksgiving and the voice of melody. All of those talk about, listen, God is going to restore them. He's going to comfort them first of all. And he's going to comfort their waste places, place where it was once trash, now going to start to flourish. He's going to make the wilderness where nothing was growing like Eden, where everything grew. And it grew to an abundance and for your benefit. And the desert's going to be now like a garden. You ever seen an oasis, a picture of an oasis in the midst of a desert? Yeah. Everybody wonders, how could that place be in the middle of a desert? Yeah. It's supplied by something you don't see. There's water underneath. Right. There's water running underneath. Yes. And the proof of the water is the life of the vegetation on top of it in the middle of the desert. Yeah. Just because you're in the desert don't mean you got to dry up and die. And then he says, joy and gladness shall be found therein. Thanksgiving, that means you're going to be grateful. And the voice of melody. In the place where you should be crying, so you're going to be singing. Melody means to sing a tune. And sing a tune. And sing a nice tune. That's pleasant to the ears. That's what he's going to do. All right, God loves you, I love you. Anything you can do about it. That's the lesson. Y'all come on time, you'll get more. I got to go. My time.
I want to hit on something that the last part when you were talking about. How is quicksand the same as life?
How is quicksand the same as life?
As life.
Life, L-I-F-E?
Yeah, it's life.
Because when you die, you're going home to live with the Lord if you make it there. Second life.
He just told you quicksand, the more you struggle, the deeper you sink.
The worse off you are.
And the more you keep struggling, the more you keep fighting and trying to do something, the deeper you get. What happens when people get in trouble with overextending in the debt?
He keep trying to
keep struggling and trying to get, instead of trying to figure a way out, they're stopping, instead of stop spending,
they start spending more. Or they start figuring out how can if I borrow money from here and take money from there, I can get, so they start fighting the situation instead of figuring the situation out. So eventually what happens? They so far in, yep.
What does that say? People say, I'm drowning
in debt. Yeah. They rob people to pay costs.
I'm drowning in debt because the deeper I go, the more I help try, the deeper I get. So quicksand is like life. You stop fighting quicksand, you start sinking. You start trying to figure it out, you get out. But if you start trying to fall in debt, start spending too much money, you start trying to figure a way out, you get deeper in debt. So life is just like quicksand, they say.
They drowning in the sea of something they love.
And it's not because
Spending
of
money.
something that somebody else did,
Something easy.
it's because of something you did.
Mm.
In other words, you start walking, not paying attention to what's going on, where you're going, and you step into quicksand. What do we do when we walk? We start walking, and we walk right into things, instead of we gotta get out, keep walking. So it's all the same. And one other thing too, the other distraction part too, like I was telling about this commercial. The guy gets up in the morning, picks up his phone. He goes in the bathroom, he half brushes his teeth while he's looking at his phone.
Right.
He starts getting dressed, he don't get totally dressed while he's still looking at his phone.
On the phone.
He gets up, he walks out the door, then he goes to the park and sits down to a couple of men on the sitting there. He's laughing and disrupting them. Now giving it, hitting the other guy said, look. Don't we do that on the phone? Then the couple gets up and walks off. He gets up, walks out, laughing, talking, walks across the street. Well, it is a car commercial.
Yeah.
The car automatically stops by itself because it has the detection system, which they get close to somebody, stop. And he gets up and says, watch where you're going.
Huh.
Because we're not watching where we're going. I really believe that this is a plot with these cell phones. Cell phones are a plot. You know, one time it's hard to get a cell phone. You didn't have good credit, you couldn't get it. And if you got one with bad credit, they charge your arm and leg just to keep it on.
Right.
Then they were particular about who got the cell phone. Now, you walk around,
Everybody.
everybody got one. I mean, they're even giving them away.
And they have all the features.
Yeah.
You used to have to pay for some of them features. GPS, voicemail. Now you get it free.
Yeah, they're giving them away now. It is a plot. Satan has figured a way to get us distracted. And how? Look at the church. I started seeing this. I think it's about 8 years ago. I started seeing this out in Richmond at Pastor Jackson's church. Walked in the church, all the young men in the church, all the young men sitting in the back of the church with their phones.
Oh, yeah.
8 years ago. Satan said, okay, I'm gonna get these young people out of the church. How do I get them out of the church? I give them something that's gonna distract them.
Yeah.
They're gonna come to church, but they're not gonna really be at church because they're distracted from what they're doing. So I said, this is a plot from Satan.
That was over at Herbie's. Where Herbie went.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Yeah.
And I got a book and I actually made it speak. I got up and I said, first thing I want to do before I say anything, I want somebody to go back and take all the cell phones. Take all the cell phones back and get it back in the back. Because they can't pay attention to what's going on. Then we had them all come up to the front.
Yep.
And then in order to get to do anything. See, it's a plot. Because they're in church, but they're not in, they're in the building, but not in
Yeah,
church.
right. They're just sitting there. Because it was made to come.
They were there and they were distracted by the cell phone. So Satan knows what he's doing. Blessed Father, in Jesus' name, we thank you, Lord, for the words of the book. Thank you for your lesson today. Father, we thank you for your grace and mercy this day. Father, bless this offering that was given. Let it be used to glorify your name. Lord, keep and guide us this day forward and bring us back at the appointed time. Father, bless the Sunday school. Let it grow and prosper where you would have prospered. Let it be sanctification to all that is listening to you today. Father, bless and keep this day forward as we get prepared to go to our next service. Father, guide and lead us and keep us. Now, forever in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
We'll be back in a short.